for tuning in. Today we're going to look at a new tractor that I just recently purchased. It's a 2018 John Deere X350. We're going to dive in, take a little bit of a look at everything, see what the John Deere X350 has to offer. Let's get into it. If you're considering getting a new lawnmower, I highly suggest looking at John Deere. John Deere's been around forever. Everybody knows those colors, that green and yellow. It's famous. Everybody knows what a John Deere is. When you think tractor, you think John Deere. Just to get this out of the way, I'm not affiliated with John Deere in any way, shape, fashion, or form, but I've always used John Deere. My family's always used John Deere and have always had great luck. So this is the heavy-duty homeowner version of their garden tractor. It features a 42-inch deck, an 18.5 horsepower air-cooled Kawasaki engine, and a hydrostatic transmission. Now, what hydrostatic transmission means is that there's no gears to be changing, and you have two pedals that are right there. One is for forward, and obviously the other one's for reverse. Taking a closer look at this, the pedals have a forward arrow and the reverse has a backwards arrow. It's as simple as that. Deck height adjustment is right here. If you're looking at the cockpit of the machine, it's down there in between your legs near your feet. And it goes down from 1 all the way up to 4. The way that you change the deck height adjustment is you press this lever in down here with your foot, hold it down, and then select your desired height. The dashboard and control panels are all easily accessible, highly and visibly colored. It features a safety right here. When you're going in reverse, you have to, while you're cutting grass, you have to depress that yellow button there while going in reverse. It's a safety feature. If you don't press that yellow button right there while you're cutting, while your blades are on, the machine will turn the PTO off, therefore canceling out the blades. Here's the PTO engagement button. Nice and easy to grab hold onto. Here's your parking brake. The way this works is that you depress this lever down here and pull this out. The parking brake's already on right now, so the way to disengage it is to keep your foot down here on this lever, push in, and there you go. It has a nice, large, comfortable steering wheel. And of course, they're yellow seats. I don't think the seat is all that comfortable. I really wish that they would have raised the back on it. When you're riding around on this for a while, that can tend to wear out your back and, get kind of tiring, but that's me nitpicking. And throughout the course of this video, I'll point out things that I don't like and things that I really do like. This is the mulching kit right here. This was a factory option that you could get at the time. It was free installation, free parts, everything was free about it, so of course, why not? The way this works is that you have to reach down while you're sitting up on the cockpit. Reach down and then push this back towards you. Mulching blades are engaged, and what that does is that, if you can see right there, that door, it's kind of hard to get this in one hand, but that's closed, so it keeps all the grass clippings up underneath the deck and does not side discharge them. And then if you want to press the lever forward, it opens that back up so you can have side discharging. Then there's closed. One thing that I have noticed while cutting with the X350 is when you're doing deep grass, it seems to have like a weak discharge. I don't know why, but it just doesn't seem to kick out as far as most mowers I've used would. Over here on the left side of the deck, you have a water port right here, so you can screw your water hose in and clean the underside of the deck. Here's the Kawasaki motor. It's the 18.5 horsepower air-cooled overhead valve. There's your battery. That's in a nice, easy location if you ever had to change that out. We're going to look a little bit closer at this oiling system here later in the video. I'll show you guys how to do your first oil change. It's very easy. Moving back to the deck, most of your pulleys are protected by this plastic cover that you can lift up and that way you can wash them out. And also there is a grease fitting. If you look closely right there, it has ease of access to grease all your pulleys. It's a very nice feature. Looking at the back of the machine, here's your hitch, so you can pull around small carts or trailers. If you're looking at the rear end or the transmission, you can see that it has the belt around the pulley, and then it has that plastic fan to keep the transmission cool. Cutting grass with the John Deere is nothing but a pure, pleasurable experience. The Kawasaki 18.5 horsepower motor, it brings very smooth and predictable throttle response and power. It has no problems whatsoever going up or down hills or towing. I've towed several heavy logs with this. I had no problems. I cut 2 different yards that are very hilly, and even going in reverse, the X350 has no problems going up or down and forward or reverse or sideways or whatever way you can get up the hill. This machine will get up it. That's very important to point out, is the ease and maneuverability of the entire machine. The machine turns on a dime, almost very similar to something of that of a zero turn. I couldn't be more happy with the way this machine turns. That was the first thing that I noticed when I test rode this, at how easy and quick this thing can turn. And without power steering, it's very, very impressive. One thing to look at is the X350 has a thicker frame and a thicker deck than that of its cheaper counterpart. The cheaper counterpart is the John Deere S250. It has the same exact engine, the same exact transmission, but the frame and the deck are of a thinner gauge material. You know, for the average homeowner, I don't think that you would personally need to have the X350, and here's why. Is because of the price. Now the S240 at the time of me looking at it was like $22.99, I believe, and this was $3,300 or $3,400, give or take a few dollars. So roughly it's $1,000 more for this machine than it is the S240, and the only differences is the frame and the deck. And the only reason why I personally chose the heavier duty version is because sometimes I need to tow something fairly heavy. I use this mower for the most part. I do commercial landscaping, and getting in and out of the back of trailers and trucks and going over different terrains of yards. I don't know what kind of yard I'll ever be going to. A lot of times I'll get a call, I have to go on a call. The yard is very hilly, terrainy, messy, whatever. And I need this to last. Now, your average homeowner, like I said, the S240 will be just fine, especially if you have a flat yard and you're not going over any hills and any bumps, towing anything heavy. The 240 is for you, and you'll save $1,000. All right, I just turned over to 11 hours on my X350 here. So the dealer recommends that you change your first oil between 8 and 10 hours. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that. John Deere advertises like they have a quick and easy oil change, so we're going to see just how easy that is today. Camera lady, if you would zoom in so the fine people could see how you change the oil. You're supposed to undo this right here, unscrew it, and then the oil will come out. Make sure you have a drain pan here. Oh yeah. It still looks pretty good because it's only got 10 or so hours on it, 10 or 11 hours. But this is just a break-in oil. So after, you know, you put like 10 hours on the machine, change it, and to get the break-in crap out of there. Oil's drained out, obviously. Go ahead and screw your drain plug back in. John Deere recommends to change the oil every 100 hours. I have the service interval manual right here. 100 hours seems kind of long to me, so I'll probably just stick with every 50 hours or so. I use this for commercial jobs, so we'll go ahead and just stick with 50 hours on that. After you let the oil drain out, the only thing you have to do now is go ahead and undo the oil filter, and it should just be on here hand tight. really care for the position of where the oil filter is because I can't really get a drain pan under here unless I jack the machine up, and quite frankly I don't feel like doing that. So but only a little bit spit out on the ground, only a little bit got on the deck, so not a big deal. So have your new oil filter and take some clean oil and just smear it around the seal right here. Screw the new one on. Just get it on here pretty snug with your hands. No need for a wrench on this one. I do recommend using a wrench though if you have like weak hands or aren't very strong. You don't want oil leaking out everywhere. Get the drain pan out of the way. Now on the X350, John Deere says that you can use a wide variety of oil viscosities. When I bought the machine, I went ahead and got 2 quarts of their Turf Guard 10W30. The reason why I went with 10W30 is because not only do I use it in spring and summer, but I'm going to try to use this in the winter too for snow plowing. So the lower viscosity will allow the engine to operate more smoothly throughout colder conditions. The manual calls for 1.8 quarts. We'll just go ahead and put 2 in there and see how it goes. Remove the dipstick right here and you fill in your oil right here. I stuck with the regular conventional oil for this oil change, and I probably will for the next oil change as well. I want the engine to get completely broken in, and then after that you can switch to synthetic if you so desire, which I highly recommend to ensure longevity of your machine. You just spent $3,500 and you want it to last. Using standard conventional oil for the first few hours of the machine just allows everything to break in because of the additives in synthetic oil. It's more slicker per se, just like kind of in a nutshell way of describing it. But using regular dinosaur oil will make sure that everything breaks in nice and easy. Check the oil. Like new again. It's a little high. That's okay. I've been very impressed by the John Deere X350. I've put it through a lot in the few short weeks that I've owned it. I've put close to 16 hours on the machine now, and it has done everything that I've asked of it and more. Here I'm going to show you a quick time lapse of a very deep yard that I had to go through, and if you notice that the grass was actually taller than the mower itself. Here you can see me cutting this very deep grass. I have no complaints the way the mower did it. You know, I had to take like 2 or 3 strips at a time to go over it simply because the grass was so deep, and that's to be expected with a machine this size. I had it on side discharge, so the mulching gate was opened. However, it kept getting clogged, and I guess because of the opening on the deck is not wide enough, and it started bogging down and it cut off like 2 or 3 times. But again, that's to be expected, but that's not the first time that that's happened where the deck has been clogged by the side discharge. I have several complaints about the X350, and while not many, there are some to be noted. The deck height adjustment isn't in a very ergonomic position. One other thing that I don't like is the position of the mulching lever down on the deck. And the last and final thing that I don't really care for is the position of the oil filter. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm glad you were able to put up with me for this long of a time. Again, if you are looking at a John Deere or a lawnmower, consider the X350 or the S240. Check with your local dealer and see what their inventory has, and go up there and grab a brochure, give one a test ride. You'll be very happy, and It's a great lawnmower that should last a lifetime if taken care of. Thanks everybody for watching. Go get you some grass to cut.